welcome back to Ren Fair. I'm Jamie,
Hey, it's Kelly.
and today is part 2 of our lucky symbols. But before we get started, Kelly, what are you eating or drinking today?
I just have water tonight. I'm about to go out camping for a weekend, so trying to stay hydrated. What about you?
Nice. I have a Gatorade, the light blue flavor, and I had some chips before we started. So that's
Love
very
it.
like high school boy snacks
Yeah,
situation
getting
going
all
on.
your salt and minerals in, your
Exactly. Yes. A
electrolytes.
lot of salts for sure. But it's good. I don't mind it. And
Well,
I realized last time, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, well, tell me something lucky, but it sounds like you got a
Oh,
better
okay.
story to tell.
So last time I went through all my symbols and then I was talking to Josh after and he was like, what did you talk about? And I asked him what he thinks when he thinks of like lucky symbols. And he was like, a rabbit's foot. And I was like, okay, that's what Kelly said. And he
Mhm.
goes, so where does it come from? And I was like, actually, we didn't end up
We
touching
didn't
on
talk about that. I thought
So
about that
I was
too.
like, let's just like start there before we dive into the rest of the episode. So I did a
Oh,
little bit of
fun.
research on like why lucky like rabbit's feet are considered lucky. And to be honest, it's kind of like we don't really know. There's a lot of different theories about how it became to be known as lucky throughout a bunch of different areas, regions, cultures. So the mojo bags that I talked about, and I think it is mojo. I was
Mhm.
pronouncing it mojo, like a more Hispanic sounding way, but I think it is just pronounced mojo. I
Mojo
looked it
does
up.
make sense now that you say it that
Yeah.
way.
So I think it's just a mojo bag. So in like an Afro-American culture, that they were known to put those in the mojo bags for luck.
Mhm.
It's also kind of rooted in some Celtic tribes who thought
I
that
was gonna guess
rabbits,
that. Yeah.
might be in communication with the underworld because they live in the ground.
Oh, I love that.
Like a very loose association. Kind of what the earliest symbol of like a rabbit's foot being lucky is Pliny the Elder, which he's like our guest star in this podcast. Like we love to talk about
Our dude.
Pliny the Elder. He just comes up all the time, really. So
That's so
apparently
funny.
he said that carrying around a rabbit's foot would cure gout. And so that's one of the earliest like links we have to
Okay.
maybe why people think that rabbit's feet are lucky. In
Huh.
fact, I don't know if it was specifically him or just more folklore that like carrying around a variety of different animals' feet would cure different illnesses. So that's kind of where that comes
I'm
from.
just
I guess we
imagining like a
think.
key ring of like chicken feet, rabbit's
Yeah,
feet. Like,
exactly.
what in the world?
That, yeah. I don't know what the Romans had going on. But so that's kind of earliest maybe indications of why we think they're lucky, but ultimately we don't really know why. So
Nice.
there you go.
Well,
Now you
good.
know.
Yeah.
But today I'm pivoting and going away from some of our lucky symbols to more so lucky math. So lucky days, why some numbers are lucky, and then I have a few random sort of fun facts thrown in at the end here. So
Cool.
starting with lucky days. So this is another topic that I actually wanted to do and may still do at some point, but every day of the week is named after a god or a celestial body. So how we got our names for our days and our months and things like that, it's all very centered around gods. And so each day of the week is considered or was considered kind of lucky for a different thing based on which god was named, that day was named after. So the Babylonians named each day after one of the 5 planetary bodies known to them: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, as well as the sun and the moon. And then the Romans later adopted that. It spread throughout Europe. And so that's kind of like how we got the different names of our days. So Sunday is the sun's day. It's associated with vitality, success, and new beginnings. And in many traditions, Sunday is considered the luckiest day to be born. What day were you born on? I haven't done like the math
Monday.
to go back. A Monday? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Monday, this I actually feel like is really fitting for you then. So Monday is the moon's day, associated with intuition, emotions, and travel. In some cultures, starting a journey on a Monday is considered a lucky
Oh, I love that.
and like
I'll
good
take it.
fortune.
What about you?
I was a Friday.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
which
wait.
we'll get to here. So Tuesday is derived from tua, Tiw, the Anglo-Saxon name for Tyre, the Norse god of war. So it's considered lucky for battles, decisions or acts of courage.
Okay.
Wednesday, named for Woden, also known as Odin, the Norse all-father linked to knowledge, poetry, death, and sorcery, which, if you know that little nursery rhyme of like Tuesday's child is full of blah 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 and it goes on. I think Wednesday's child they said is full of woe, which I think is
Yeah,
kind of fun. Like poetry, death, sorcery is what Wednesday is known for, so that
totally.
poem kind of follows that.
And they cite that poem in Wednesday, the show on
Yeah,
Netflix.
it's
Yeah.
very common. I've heard it in lots of different pop culture movies, shows, things like that. So yeah, it's definitely, I feel like, pretty well known. In one famous story, Odin sacrificed one of his eyes to drink from the well of Mimir, which granted him wisdom. And so Wednesday is considered lucky for communication, business deals, and study too. So anything that's kind of like progressing you in your seeking wisdom is what Wednesday is also known as being good for. Thursday, many cultures consider Thursday to be the luckiest day to begin a new job or start a new journey, which I feel like most jobs you start on Mondays.
Yeah. But it would be
Which,
nice to start it on a Thursday because you just get like 2 days to jump in
right,
and
you get
then a
like
break.
a little bit of a taste before,
Mhm.
you get a weekend. So it would be considered lucky if we were to do that, or to start a journey is another thing it's considered lucky for. So it's kind of like Monday, I would say, in that way, like starting travel. In Norse mythology, Thursday is sacred to Thor, which makes sense, the god of thunder and protection, making it an ideal day to seek strength or victory. In Roman mythology, Thursday was ruled by Jupiter, the king of the gods and bringer of abundance. So kind of like a lucky day for a lot of
Overall.
different things, just kind of, yeah, overall
Yeah.
lucky.
Well, because Jupiter is like the planet of luck too.
Is it? Okay.
Mhm.
Like in astrology?
Mhm.
Yeah. I did not know that, but that makes sense for sure. And then Friday is derived from Frigg's Day, named for Frigg, the wife of Odin, representing love, beauty in Norse mythology. And Friday was long considered lucky for love and marriage until Friday the 13th, being associated with that
Mm.
day, sort of made it a little bit murky as to whether it's lucky or not. But so maybe if you get married on a Friday, maybe this will
Yeah,
convince
just
you
not
to
the
do that.
13th.
Just
And I
not the
think a
13th.
lot more
Yeah.
people do that these days because wedding culture and prices are so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Thursdays, Fridays,
My friend got
definitely
married on a
becoming more
Friday,
common.
actually. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think that it's becoming more popular and maybe it's better luck. Who knows?
Mhm.
And then Saturday is the only day of the week that still carries its Roman name, Saturn's Day, named
Mhm.
after the god of agriculture and sowing. So in many traditions, Saturday is a day of protection and grounding and kind of that work ethic sort of day, which is funny being that most people don't work on
That's when we
Saturdays.
play. Yeah. But I guess you're like actually probably doing work around the house
That's
in
true.
reality.
Maybe you are. Yeah. So Friday the 13th, though, you touched on briefly. So why do people think that's so unlucky? It's also a Norse kind of tradition or a theory. It has its base in Norse mythology. So in Norse mythology, there's a story about a dinner party attended by 12 gods. And then Loki, the uninvited god of mischief, arrives as the 13th guest, leading to chaos when Balder, god of joy, is killed. So that's
Mm.
kind of where the 13 comes from, of 13 being unlucky. And then combined with the Christian Last Supper, where Judas was the 13th at the table, and then also the crucifixion being on a Friday, those two kind of came together and formed this like unlucky association with Friday the 13th.
Interesting.
But a little known fun fact, in Italy, 13 is actually considered lucky because it's associated really strongly with the 13th saint, the saint of finding lost people and things. So it doesn't apply
Perfect.
to all cultures.
I'm into the
However,
13. I'm into
I
13.
like it
So,
too. Yeah. We touched on it last time, and like I
which like
think Friday the 13th is fun.
yeah, and like 3 is my favorite number, so any number that
Okay.
has 3 in it is therefore good
Mm-hmm.
in my book.
I see. Yeah, yeah. No, that totally makes sense. I think I find more that 2 is lucky number for me, and numbers surrounding
Okay.
2 I generally have. Like I got married on the
Nice.
22nd in 2022, and so I just
Yeah.
have like a lot of 2s.
Oh, I love that. Wait, was I
Yeah.
married on October 3rd? or the 6th.
Oh, that would be fun.
I think it is October 3rd.
Report back when your
Also, like,
anniversary
don't
is.
tell anybody I don't know when my wedding
Oh,
was.
it's
It's
okay.
been a day. It's been 5 years. I've lived a lot of lives since then.
Fair enough.
Okay, it is our
While you look it up,
it's our
though,
anniversary. I got it right.
it's the 3rd
Yeah.
or the 6th? Oh, okay.
It's the
Oh,
3rd.
yeah, so there you go. Like,
Nailed it.
even it's a synchronicity that
Mhm.
I was on your lucky number. Did the
Mhm.
lucky number come first, or was that your lucky number before you got
I don't
married,
think I
or?
was thinking about that.
Okay.
It's always been my lucky number, but I didn't choose that date because of
Based on
it,
it,
if
but
that
maybe
makes
it was a
sense. Right.
subconscious sort of decision,
Yeah, maybe.
you know?
Probably.
Yeah. In Italy, though, the 17th is the day, like the day that people think is unlucky, or the number, I should say, that people think is unlucky, because the Roman numerals for 17 can be rearranged to spell VIXI, Vixi, I think is how you would say it, which is Latin for I have lived. And that's a phrase associated with death. So it seems like kind of a stretch to me, but
Yeah, guys,
apparently
you guys are
that's like,
trying hard there.
I mean, to be fair, though, we also took Jesus dying on a Friday and like a Norse mythology story about a 13th guest, and took that all the
Yeah.
way to where we are now. So
Yeah.
to be fair, we also, it's
We're a
also
little
kind
bit
of a stretch.
dramatic as a human race.
Yeah, exactly. So then, talking about other lucky numbers, the concept of lucky numbers is believed to have originated primarily in China, where people meticulously chose auspicious numbers for various aspects of their life, including business, homes, bank accounts. So, like we talked about last time, where all of that revenue and purchasing is lost on Friday the 13th, I think that a lot of that primarily centers around more Eastern countries rather than maybe the
Interesting.
United States,
Mhm.
because that really, really strongly factors into their lives and what they think is lucky. So 7 is considered the world's luckiest number, which makes a lot of sense, like in religion and things.
Yeah,
It's,
we always see that.
yeah, very common. So the number 7 is perhaps the most universally recognized lucky number. It appears in various different cultures and historical periods. The 7 wonders of the world, 7 liberal arts and medieval education, 7 days of the week, named after gods and planets. So you see the pattern of 7 a lot. If you want just the luckiest person alive, seeking out the 7th son of the 7th son is supposed to have magical abilities, including healing powers and an unending pool of luck. Which I don't know where I've heard that before, but the 7th son of a 7th son sounds so familiar to me. Like, I know I've heard that somewhere.
Like, we're talking about, like, father-sons?
Yeah.
Like, SONs?
Yeah, so, like, the 7th son in a family, like, his 7th son, which no one has that many kids anymore.
It's very
but
Irish-coded.
maybe that's it. I don't know where I've heard it before, but I know in something, a book or a movie or something,
Yeah.
I've
No,
heard of
it
that.
does sound familiar.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's the Bible even. I don't really know. I don't
Yeah.
remember, but I have to look it up after this because that one sounds so familiar to me. And then 8 isn't considered another lucky number. That one's most lucky in China. So in Chinese culture, 8 is considered extremely lucky because it sounds like the word prosperity in Chinese, which we talked about with the bamboo and how like 8 stalks of bamboo is considered to give the person prosperity. And so many Chinese people strive to include 8 in their phone numbers, license plates, and addresses, and some people even pay large sums to secure a phone number or a license plate with multiple 8s in it, which I think is fun.
Yeah, I never knew that.
It's like I can see someone being in real estate and like wanting to see that or something. Like,
Totally, yeah.
I feel like get you some good business if you have a lot of 8s in your phone number or something like that. So. The 2008 Beijing Olympics opening ceremony began on 8/8/08 at 8:08 p.m. and they planned it to be that way.
No doubt, yeah.
To be especially lucky.
I wonder how they did in the Olympics that year. Probably really good.
I don't know. That would be, yeah, interesting to look up. I'll have to find out and let you know.
Yeah.
In Italy, 3 is considered a perfect number. So we talked about how 13 is lucky, 17 is unlucky, but 3 is also, I guess, what you could consider lucky or at least perfect. So a triangle being an indestructible shape holds connotations to the Trinity as well. So like Father, Son, and Spirit. So that's
I
a
love that.
religious background of being lucky. 4 is the unluckiest number in Asian culture. Number 4 is unlucky for Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, and Japanese cultures because the word 4 is a homonym for the word death in those languages. So people really, really avoid 4 like we might avoid 13.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want it in their phone numbers, floor numbers, your apartment number, like you would avoid having
That's so
4s in
funny.
there. I wonder if in China they don't have a 4th floor, kind of like how most hotels don't have a 13th
Mm-hmm.
floor.
But like,
It'd be
guys,
interesting.
you do. You do. It's
You do.
still there.
It's just not called that.
Like, it's one thing
Exactly.
if they built it and then, like, let nobody ever go to that floor, but guys, people are going to the
Right.
13th floor. Even if you call it
Exactly.
the
Yes.
14th, it's the 13th.
Just no buildings are allowed to be taller than 12 stories. They just
Yeah, there
cut
you
it off
go.
right there. That's all we can do. Um, the fear of number 4 is also pretty widespread, and it has widespread enough that it has a specific name, tetraphobia. So 666, obviously, everybody I feel like will know that one. So to Westerners, 666 has an unlucky vibe because of the Book of Revelation. However, Chinese consider 6s more lucky than we do because the Mandarin for 666 is like smooth or flowing. So it's just like a pleasant sound in Mandarin. And so it is not necessarily unlucky to them. So just depends on the culture that you're in. All right. And then some random fun facts that I have for us about luck. The hangman's noose. So during days of public executions in Europe and the United States, one of the most sought after good luck charms was the hangman's noose, widely believed to hold special powers. So sick people would wrap the ropes around their heads as a cure for headaches and fevers, and gamblers believed that owning a piece of a noose would keep them in good standing with luck. I don't really know where that came from. It's like a
I'm gonna pass on
weirdly,
that one.
yeah, just,
Feels very
and
American, unfortunately,
so
but
the rabbit's foot too, when I was like doing some research for that, it was considered more lucky. I don't remember exactly now what it said, but it was like considered more lucky if the rabbit was killed on someone's grave, or if it was killed on especially the grave of like a criminal or something. It's very death coded. We're really into
Mm.
somehow death being very unlucky, with some things sounding like death
Yeah.
and considering that unlucky, but then also really lucky, I guess, if it's like other people dying. I don't know.
Right.
It's very
Mm.
closely associated for some reason. The swastika. So I feel like we've maybe talked about this before, and I feel like you would know this, but the ancient swastika was roughly translated to well-being in Sanskrit, so it was long considered a sacred sign in Eastern religions such as Hinduism or Buddhism, before
Mhm.
obviously in the 20th century it was corrupted by Hitler using it for his propaganda. But before that, it appeared on lots of different things, from like Coca-Cola advertisements to Boy Scout badges,
Mhm.
uniforms for sports teams. Like, it's very, very much was not considered anything terrible or to being associated with anything terrible before Hitler corrupted that symbol for all of us. So
Yeah, I had
thanks,
heard
Hitler.
that. Thanks, guys.
Spilling water for good luck. So in Serbia, you might spill water behind someone going on a journey or on a job interview, and it's supposed to smooth their path and invite good fortune, which kind of
That's
reminds me of like
cute.
throwing salt over your shoulder and like
Yeah.
the good luck sort of
Mhm.
a thing. Just kind of having things behind you. Red underwear or grapes. So in Spain on New Year's Eve, Spaniards wear red underwear and eat a dozen grapes as the bell tolls at midnight, which is supposed to usher in 12 months of good fortune. So 1 grape per chime,
Oh, that's cute.
which that's like really fast to eat a lot of grapes.
Yeah, that's true. You're, like, chomping them.
Like, yeah, you have to eat them very quickly. I know
And
red
are
is
they in
also,
season at that time?
um, that's a good
Maybe in
question.
Spain. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe. I don't know how chilly it is then at that point.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could still buy grapes though,
Yeah,
regardless
you
of whether they're
could,
like
for
in
sure.
season. Um, And I know that red is also really lucky in Chinese culture as well.
Chinese
And I think like a
culture.
lot of wedding dresses, we talked about that, are red there for good luck.
Mhm.
So saying the word rabbit, so in England, some people say the word rabbit first thing in the morning when they wake up before anything else as a charm for good luck throughout the month. And again, I think that's just kind of associated with like rabbit's feet. Why we chose rabbits, I don't know. But
They're cute.
that's
They're
just,
abundant,
yeah, I guess
I
so.
guess.
Yeah, maybe the abundance factor of it.
Yeah,
Just like
that's all I
there's
can.
so many of them. In 1899, a devastating shipwreck at Aldeburgh killed 7 crew members and left 11 survivors. One survivor attributed his luck to the acorns in his pocket. And so today, those shipwrecked acorns are preserved and displayed at the Aldeburgh lifeboat station in Suffolk, England. And so they became sacred objects because this guy thought
Because some
they
guys
helped him
thought so.
survive. Yeah.
I
Which
love
is just
that.
so funny. I know, isn't that cute?
But what would have happened if they planted one? Like, that could have been a
Maybe
whole
you just
lucky
have,
tree.
right, and then more lucky acorns.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
We'll never know. Since they're displayed now and probably the seeds are dead. I don't think they're going to grow anymore
Yeah.
at this
Yeah,
point.
they're probably, like, petrified by now.
Yeah. And going back to our lucky plants, I planted some roseberry by my front door and I have lavender by the back door. So I have lucky plants
Perfect.
all around now. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's all I have for us today for part 2. If you guys would like to hear about a specific topic, find us on Instagram or any of our other social medias or even here on Spotify if you're listening on that particular podcast platform. You can leave us a comment and tell us what you want to hear next. Otherwise, we will be back next week with something else for you to listen to. And if you want to see some photos or videos or anything else related to the podcast and what we talked about today, you can visit us on social media.
Yes, we'll see you there.
All right, bye.
Cheers.